Hello everybody, I'm Pablo and this video is a collection of all of the videos that I made while I was adding a coding AI assistant to the editor for the Godot game engine. A few months ago, I got interested for the first time in my life in building video games and I started playing with Godot, and at the same time I've been learning about AI, LLMs, trying to go a bit deeper than usual. Um, when I was using Godot, I was a bit frustrated with the landscape of AI assistants to Godot. There's nothing in Godot itself, or there are complicated plugins that don't actually work very well, in my opinion, or you use Cursor and they don't get along very well. I wanted something much more integrated. I read this book, Building LLM Powered Applications, which I really recommend if you're doing what the title says. And that inspired me to go for Godot and add an AI assistant to that. And here you can see my progression throughout the videos. It was a lot of fun, but now the project is permanently paused. Maybe at some point I'll return to it. But the reality is I learned what I was learning and I'm moving on, going deeper into learning AI, which is more of my focus right now than the video games part. Um, there's like three, four, five other companies, groups, people doing the same thing that I was doing here. So I'm sure that very soon we'll have a very high quality AI assistance for Godot. So look around. It might exist already, and all you have to do is download it. One of the things that I did find very frustrating in this project is building an application that talks to LLMs and has to receive the output and parse it in C++. Parsing JSON in C++ is painful. But at the same time, I haven't touched C++ in like 20 years. I don't know. It's been a long time since I touched C++. And it was amazing how quickly, thanks to LLMs helping me code, how quickly I was being productive in writing the things and writing new features. But of course, I don't think I wouldn't have gotten far if it wasn't for the fact that I already understood memory management in C and C++. So whenever the LLM made some fishy memory management calls, I could go in and inspect it and correct it. And in many cases, there was this, in many cases, every single time, there was this pattern of asking the LLM to do something and then refactor it. And in the refactoring, I would homogenize how I was managing memory to avoid memory leaks, which is one of the most memory leaks, or using memory has been freed, which is a very common problem with C and C++. But amazing how productive I was so quickly. And I think that's everything. I'll let you watch the videos now if you want. Thank you. Hello everybody, I'm Pablo and I have something that I'm very excited to show you. This is Godot, which is an engine and an editor to build games. And the thing that I'm excited to show you is something that I built, which is this chat thing here. Let me show you. Who are you? This is an AI assistant that can help you build games with Godot. You can ask it questions like, what files are in this project? This project is Dodge the Creeps, which is one of the sample projects for Godot. It's also used in a tutorial. And these are all the files and a little bit of a description of what each file is. Let me quickly show you the game if you haven't seen it before. You are this little dude and you move around, and there's the creeps that you have to avoid. And the longer you avoid them, the higher your score is. So I got 12 points. Great. So let's actually do something. This game is too easy. How can we make it harder? Just give me ideas. Don't implement anything yet. Okay, lots of ideas. Increase spawn rate, faster enemy movement, smart enemies. Great. So let's make the enemies 10% faster each time the score goes up and also spawn faster. Now that's a lot, 10%, but I wanted to do something that's visible. Let's see if that works. Okay. Yes, go ahead. So I believe it's going to be modifying this file. Okay. Yes. I'm happy with those changes, I think. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. I can see that it made some changes around here for spawning. Now it made some other changes. Okay, now it's giving me a summary of all the changes. Great, let's test the game to see if it works. And if the changes work. Okay. Okay, I think they're moving faster. Oops. Yeah, they're moving faster. That looks good, but it would be more fun if the music also speeds up. Okay, there it made some changes. Some more changes. Okay, and now it's explaining what the changes are. Let's try it. Does it work? Okay. Okay, that with the music speeding up, it feels harder than it felt before. That's really cool. It's a bit chunky with the music. I'm not sure that's the way that you modify the music, but it is working. And that's it. That's everything that I wanted to show in this video. There's still a lot of work to do, a lot of improvements to do in the UX and how it works. But I'm very excited. Working with AI is a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to building more. Thank you for watching. Hello. If you watched my previous video, you may have noticed a behavior of the AI assistant that I think was a little bit annoying. I'm going to show it to you. So here I have this main.gd file that has some functions, and I'm here at the end, and I want to add a function at the end. In main.gd, add a function called blah that does nothing. Okay, so the assistance is working, and there it is. It did it, but you may have noticed that the scroll went all the way to the top. The function is there, but as we were looking at it, it disappeared because we went to the top. That got really annoying, if I'm honest. So I went and fixed it. I am now running the fixed version, so I'm going to ask the same thing. In main.gd, at the end, add a function called blah that does nothing. And there it is. And this time it didn't scroll to the top. So annoyance resolved. Thank you for watching. Hello everybody, I have another update on what I'm working on, which is creating an AI assistant for the Godot editor, for building games with the Godot engine. And I have it running here with Dodge the Creeps. Let me very quickly show it to you. This is one of the sample projects, and there's also a tutorial on how to build this game. Very simple game. Cool. So now I'm going to ask the LLM a question. What happens when the user presses the start button? So as you can see, it just opened the main scene and then it opened the HUD scene, and that is the new thing that I just developed. I developed the tool to give the LLM the ability to open and inspect scenes. When the LLM is working with GDScript or other text files, it can modify them directly because it's very straightforward. But the scenes are a little bit more complex. So it opens and modifies them through Godot. You can see that it found the start game signal, and then it found like everything that happens, like which signals get emitted, which methods get called, what code is being called, and what it does, and what effect it has, and all of that, and it just explains it to you. I think this is a good way of getting to know a new code base or getting to know an old code base that you forgot how it works. This is only reading scenes at the moment. I think it gets very interesting when it starts writing scenes. And until then, thank you for watching. Hello, I have another update on my journey to add AI to Godot. I'm still playing with the same game that I have shown before, which is Dodge the Creeps. It's one of the samples that you can get from the Godot repositories where you dodge these little monsters. Perfect. Okay. So let me show you what I just implemented. I want the opening screen to say creep the dodges. There it goes. So what I implemented is now the AI can change properties inside scenes. There it goes. Oh, but that doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. There, much better. And make the colors of the opening scene green and red. Let's see what it comes up with. Okay, it shows green as a background. That's brave. Now invert them. Okay. But I guess they both look terrible. These are too bright. Okay. That's a little better. Now the start button should be green too. Okay, looking good. Let's see it. Perfect. And that's it. It's coming together to be able to modify all the different aspects of a game. Still a lot of work to do. Thank you for watching. Hello everybody, I'm Pablo and I have another update on the AI that I'm adding to a clone of Godot. Here we have the LLM like before, but the new thing is now I have this little plus button here where I can start a new chat. I can create another one. And I can jump to the previous ones. It's not generating the name of the conversation yet. I'll get to that at one point. What I needed right now is to be able to jump between conversations. This is mostly a convenience for me while I'm developing this AI because I need to try different things, and closing and opening Godot every time that I needed to have a clear chat, a clear context to try something out was really annoying. So now being able to just click the plus and start over is really convenient. But obviously this is something that, if this becomes useful, needs to work properly. Thank you for watching. Hello everybody, I have a tiny update for my AI assistant for Godot. Let me quickly show you. List all my files. It's this message that now has a little little marker there. This message here didn't happen before. That message shows you whenever the LLM asks Godot, well, the AI assistant within Godot, to perform an action locally that is called a tool call. Now it shows you what it's doing, because otherwise it would just wait silently. And sometimes I didn't know if it was broken or not. So knowing what it's doing, it's quite convenient. Let me show you with another one why it's important. Um, List all the method names from GD files. So during this time, you would be showing nothing, and still showing nothing, and still showing nothing, and only now it would start showing something. Um, as I'm developing this, and often it's broken. I didn't know whether it was broken or not, and I had to debug messages and so on. Now I have the proper UI thing. It needs work, like everything. All of this is very experimental, but it looks a bit nicer. Thank you for watching. Hello friends, I have another update for the AI assistant that I'm building for Godot. Let me just show you what it does now. In the heads-up display, below the Start button on the bottom right, show a label that reads Powered by Godot. Perfect, it's done. Look at that. And let me run it just to check what it looks like. There we go. Perfect. Still some work to do. It still cannot do fonts, so I'll get to that. But it's getting closer. Thank you for watching. Hello friends, this is Pablo and I have another update on my AI assistant for Godot. I'm still using the same video game that I have used in my previous videos. Dodge the creeps, very simple. It has a start button, which will be relevant in a moment, and very simple game. Cool. Let me show you the latest thing that I have built. When I enter the start button with the mouse, I want to display a debug message that says, "Ready player one?" And there it is. We can see that it created the method here that displays the message, and it connected it to the right signal, which is the mouse enter for the start button. So now when I play, I can see the message, "Ready player one." And we can also ask to disconnect the signals. And if that was a mistake, undo works and it reconnects the signal. I feel like it's starting to get to the point where something useful can come out of this. And for me, that's very exciting. Thank you for watching. Hello, everybody. I'm Pablo, and if I'm sounding a little bit different today, it's because I am recovering from emergency surgery that I had this week. So I've been riding the pain or painkillers wave for a few days now. Today was the first day that I pushed myself to code, and unfortunately I had a task that was already selected because that was what I was working on before, which was the robustness of the network code for the AI assistant, which is not great code to be working when you're in this current state that I am right now. But it is what I had. Hopefully what I have now is better than what I had before. I am not entirely sure, but let me show you what it is. I'm going to just send a very simple prompt. Hello. And because the backend is off, I just manually turn it off. Now it's showing an error and it's trying again. And that's what I did. Having that exponential back off, but keep on trying until it reaches the server. Let me start the server on again, and then it should automatically start working as soon as the server is up. Cool. That worked. Now, this is so far a prototype, a toy, something that I'm playing with to see if it's possible. Why would I be working on the robustness of the networking code for a prototype? and I didn't want to. But the reality is that as I was creating more and more tools, by that I mean I'm giving the LLM more capabilities to operate within Godot. I'm starting to send prompts that would result in more and more work running. And when you have a prompt running for long enough, the chances of running into an error, into a networking problem, tends to approach 100%. And when that happens, if you don't handle it, essentially you need to close the application, open it again, and start over. And that was really annoying. So I did this to fix that. And let me show you what I mean by having prompts running a little bit longer. It's not groundbreaking, but it's starting to do some useful things. Let me write a prompt for this. Below the start button, add a button that says cheat that increases the score by 1. When I start the game, I would start with that score already in my score. That's not brilliant English, to be honest. But let's see what the LLM can do. This one is going to take a while, so I'm just going to speed it up. Okay, let's see if it works. There's the cheat button. I press it and nothing happens. Oh, interesting. It is not increasing the score. That was an interesting interpretation. I was expecting it to increase the score here, but it is increasing the score hidden. In this case, there were no networking errors. Often I would get a networking error, so it keeping on trying was always useful. Now, do you have any opinions on what I should be working next, what I should add to this? If you have, please add a comment. It will help me have ideas. I do have a list of things that I want to build. Also, it helps as usual if you subscribe, if you give a thumbs up, all of the usual YouTube things. If you know anybody that you think might be interested in this and you want to share it to see if anybody else would find something like this valuable. Anyway, thank you for watching.